Pew 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 pew. Oh my gosh, explosion.
Alright.
Pow pow.
Yay.
Player 2
Oh,
dead.
hey.
I can't believe I actually sniped you. You're gonna appreciate that. That looked really cool.
Well, so what all happened in that cutscene we
So
just watched?
yeah. So basically, Cortana. Oh, I forgot the second part of the message, which is actually the important part. Whoopsie. Is Cortana sends the flood ship telling you, "Hey, Gravemind is coming, but there is a solution on the other side of the portal. Gravemind doesn't know what's on the other side. Cortana does.
What's the portal?
The portal is the portal to the Ark. So we thought the Ark was on Earth, and that's what this installation was. This is technically not correct. It's the door to the Ark, which is basically just this Forerunner installation way far away. Way far away. You can't really see my hands. From our galaxy. So it's outside the range of the Halo rings. So the idea of the Ark is that when the Halo rings were all activated to kill all the Flood, there was a small group of actually humans that were on the Ark that were outside the range of the Halo rings, so that when they killed all the food, killed all the Flood, then the humans could come back to Earth and repopulate it. As well as, actually, yes, yeah. As well as there were a couple of other installations that, like, the weird, like, triangle, like, ship that we saw that they were shooting at, that had, like, genetic code for the previous species, the prophets and I think the elites, actually, in that one, where they could repopulate the world. And so all of the species of the Covenant and of the humans and stuff were repopulated that way. And then the Ark was how the humans were able to survive, and that they were able to regrow Earth, basically. And that's how that happened. Kind of. It's I'm kind of running on memory from quite a while ago since I've looked up the thing. And it gets a lot more complicated. It gets so much more complicated when you get to like Halo 3. Everything I've talked about so far has been basic stuff. This is way more complicated. So basically, we go in, we get the message from Cortana, we burn half of Africa to make sure that literally every single flood spore is dead. Again, like the shipmaster said, if a single flood spore survives, all of Earth is doomed, basically. So necessary sacrifice. And so Lord Hood, the guy in the white shirt, is like, hey, what's on the other side of that portal doesn't matter. I don't care. Earth is our last defense. He's still in that mindset, which is fine, except that if he were to continue that, then they would all die. And the shipmaster's correct. It's like, if we don't stop the truth from whatever he's going to do, and we don't go what's on the other side of the portal, then we're just waiting for our enemies to come to us, and you can't handle all of High Charity. Like you said, they could handle one cruiser. High Charity is like 1,000 cruisers. So it's not going to work. Lord Hood, I think, is very much mistaken, because they don't really have any orbital defenses anyway, because they all got destroyed by the Prophet of Truth and the Covenant. So then the shipmaster, and the entire elite forces gather their troops, as well as a little bit of the human forces. I think it's really just in Amber Clad, which is the ship of Commander Keyes and Sergeant Major Johnson and Master Chief. I think it's just this one ship. I'm not sure. There might be others. And then we go through the portal, and now we are at the Ark.
And please remind me why the Arbiter is on the Marine's side.
Because in the previous game, Halo 2...
I know he was betrayed by...
He was betrayed, yeah. And he was told by the Gravemind and by the Master Chief that the Prophet of Truth is lying. He is not actually telling the truth. That if they activate the Halo Array, there is no religious great journey. You're all just going to die. And the elites know that now. They understand that they were deceived. And even if they don't follow, like if they still follow the belief, the religious beliefs, they still know that the Prophet is going to go on the great journey without them, kind of thing. So they don't like that either. So whether or not they actually believe, like if 100% of all the elites believe it or not, they still want to stop truth, because he's going to activate the Halo Wings, and none of them want that. Whether they follow the belief still or whether they don't, it's the same. because he's going to go on the great journey without them or kill them all. Your pick. It's bad. And
Yeah.
only those that go on the great journey go to heaven. Everyone else is heretic, and they get left behind and die. I don't know what happens actually in the covenant relief system there.
Dang.
Yep.
All right.
From my understanding, again, it's been a while. We get more intense, and I'm like, I think this. I mean, we don't even know who Didact is yet, and so that's gonna be fun.
I don't. Yeah. Mm-mm.
Exactly. Librarian. Nothing.
Librarian.
Yeah, that's Halo 4.
Oh well.
Exactly. So. Yeah. So Halo 3. It was a good start. I like it. We're gonna play more next Friday. On Tuesday, I'm going to continue playing Halo 3. We just entered Arendelle, so we get to play with some Frozen.
You mean Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah, what did I say?
Halo 3.
I'm going to play Halo 3 on Tuesday. I do that. Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 3. Let it go. Let it go.
Oh, man.
I'm imagining like ice powers.
Oh.
That's funny.
So,
all right.
Wait. I have another question.
Yep.
Why is the portal on Earth?
Because of the librarian.
Oh.
So there's a forerunner named the Librarian who studied the humans, I believe, and decided that they were more worthy to hold the mantle or something than the forerunner, I believe. Again, I might want to look into this before we actually start playing Halo 4. But basically, she decided that humans were superior and deserved to live on, and the forerunners did not. So she built the Ark specifically to save the humans. There were other installations as well. There are other like shield systems that helped guard. It was a massive project the forerunners undertook to make sure that sentient life could exist without the flood. And so she decided that she wanted to save the humans, and so she I think she incorporated forerunner DNA into them so that they could at some point in the future pick up where the forerunners left off, because the humans and the forerunners were actually at war at one point 100,000 years ago or something, 100 million years ago. I don't remember. It's been a while. Because the forerunners were getting destroyed by the flood, and then they were kind of like attacking human worlds because they had no more eligible planets to live on. They were all refugees, and so it just became this huge conflict. And then suddenly the humans got embroiled in the war and against the flood, and just everything was just falling apart. But yes, because of a specific forerunner named the Librarian, she decided that the humans should have the Ark and be able to live beyond this. But even though everyone else was also genetic code, so I don't really know.
So does the flood have an origin that we know of?
Yes, actually. So the flood came from a species called the Precursors. The Precursors are an alien race that existed longer even than the Forerunner, and they gave all sentient life. They created all of the aliens genetically, whatever, and they were trying to find one of these alien species the Mantle of Responsibility. Basically, as the Precursors died away or whatever, then another species would be able to take their place. Well, one species, the Forerunner, decided to try to take that mantle by force. They wanted to earn it. And the Precursors were like, well, we don't actually want that. And the Forerunners were like, too bad. So that was a war that the Forerunner did to try to kill all the Precursors and take the Mantle of Responsibility for themselves.
What's the Mantle of Responsibility?
It is just this title.
Okay.
It's like a title of king of the universe.
Okay.
And so it came to a point where the Precursors basically all died out except like one or a colony or something. And they changed their genetic code so that they could I'm gonna have to look into this because there's a lot of lore here that I don't remember. Basically, they turned themselves into the flood. So the Gravemind that we see is the remaining precursor from hundreds of millions of years ago, and that's sentient life. Is this one precursor, and he just wants to consume everything in his rage. He promises salvation, but really he just wants everything to die, as kind of revenge. And so they targeted the Forerunner because they're the ones that actually killed it. And the Forerunner believed over years of years that, like, yes, we earned the Mantle of Responsibility to the Precursors gave us the Mantle of Responsibility. Also, your controller disconnected.
Yep.
Wah, wah. Doesn't matter. And so, yeah.
So, does the grave mind remember?
I do believe so. I will double check. I want to look into the lore again. It's been a while since I looked at it. Like, I remember Halo 1 and Halo 2 lore pretty easily because it's pretty basic. But when you get into the deep lore and you get into the Ur-Didact versus regular Didact, and then versus I don't even remember. I've only played through Halo 4 once, so it's been a while. There are actually devices here. Oh, and the Mendicant Bias. We didn't talk about Mendicant Bias. He's here too. Yeah, there's a lot. Mendicant Bias and what's the other one? It's like Shield Bias, Guardian Bias. I don't remember. It's been too long. But yeah, Mendicant Bias is an AI that the Gravemind convinced to betray the Forerunners, and then he basically just like opened all the doors for the Flood to consume all the Forerunner, and that like escalated the offensive bias. That's his name. And then Mendicant Bias is an AI that did that, and then the Forerunner had to come up with.
I remember you talking about this to me.
And then there was another Forerunner.
I remember the other AI.
There's an AI named Offensive Bias or something that like had to like kind of cope with everything, except you have the mastermind of the Gravemind consuming everything in a spiral, and Mendicant Bias, who has all of their military strategies in his system and all of their data everywhere, everything, working against them, and it kind of died. And so the 12 Halo rings that they created were the final like solution for this problem. But then 5 of the Halo rings actually died, and that's why there's 7 Halo rings. There were originally 12, but then 5 of them died in the final battle. And then 7 of them activated, and everything died. The end.
Okay. That's crazy.
Imagine a world where truth wins, and they do kill all sentient life in the galaxy. And then just over the course of, millions of years, more life pops up somewhere, and they discover all these Halo rings from like billions of years before, and they're just like, what even is all this? What's going on? They're even more confused. That'd be funny.
How do these Halo rings even get everywhere?
They can move.
Crazy. I guess.
They're just a giant ship. I mean, they have artificial gravity, right? You have this little ring, and you have artificial gravity. Forerunners were super advanced. They could do whatever the crap they wanted.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
Man.
Mm-hmm. All of the Covenant AI, not the AI, the weaponry that we see, the plasma stuff, that's all Forerunner. That's all Forerunner technology that the Covenant has like taken and copied and just used again. The main theme of Halo, when you look at it like across like the books and stuff, is that the Covenant are not innovators. They don't change really anything. They do the same thing over and over again. They do exactly what the Forerunner did, including their military strategies, which if you look at their military strategies, they're designed so that and their ships are designed so that if the Flood were to board a ship, then part of the Covenant, the Forerunner ship, same thing, Covenant Forerunner ship, would be able to like disconnect itself from the main body so that the entire ship isn't compromised, only sections of it. Which actually came to be used against them, because then you could have a Forerunner ship go into battle and then just disconnect itself, and suddenly you have like 20 pieces of Forerunner ship coming at you instead of one big one. So, but like they use their military AI of the strategies of the Forerunner, and then the humans are like, well, actually, we can take Covenant technology and make it better. That's how Master Chief has shields. It's Covenant technology that they were able to copy and improve upon. So he has better shielding and better armor and stuff, and that's why he's able to survive. As well as he was, a soldier to be a soldier, basically. Kidnapped as a child, but details. We don't talk about that.
Details. Also tragic.
A little bit.
Wow.
Yep. He and like, was it 60 others? 60 other children were taken for the Spartan 2 program, and or was it 120? I don't remember. And so yeah, they were kidnapped as children and just trained from the age of 6 to be combat soldiers. Yeah, and like modified by like their bodies to be like hyper alert and stronger and stuff. As like a teenager, he could like fight 3 fully grown military dudes in a wrestling match and like own them, not even close. Just as a teenager.
Dang.
Because of the combat enhancements he's gotten, and like his bones are all hardened and stuff, and his reaction time is way faster, and the suit that he wears interfaces with his mind, so he's not actually like moving his body, he's thinking of moving his body, and that is how he's able to move so fast, is that it's literally seamless. He doesn't need to tell my hand to move, he just thinks it, and the suit itself moves as well.
Oh my word.
Because they did a thing in one of the books in Fall of Reach where a regular Marine was testing this armor, and he's like, okay, move, all right, good luck, soldier. And then the guy like tried to like salute, but he accidentally did it way too hard, smashed his head, broke his hand, and like his like painful writhings were like killing him inside the suit, and it was kind of terrifying. And so like, okay, Chief, just think about moving your hand. And then it still did it, and like it still really hurt his hand, but he was able to stop it so that it didn't break his hand, but it still really hurt because he thought about it and because of his enhancements. And it's like, if I didn't have enhancements in my body at the time, it probably would have crushed my hand. This got dark. That's in Fall of Reach. That's the book. That talks about Master Chief's childhood. Do you know his name is? Master Chief's name?
No.
John.
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah. Good times. Good times. Nice talk.
Jeez.
So yeah, I'm gonna look up more Halo lore just so I don't give false information. And who knows? I don't have all the Halo lore in a couple of years. So there might have been books that have come out that explain more and like, oh hey, by the way, like I remember the first theory that people had was that the Flood were created from pets or something that the Forerunner had, and that like the pets were like modified slightly, and that's what created the Flood. But then that turned out not to be the case. I don't know. It's been a while. I don't know if that was retconned or if that was like just the cover up or whatever. That could be a good cover up from Forerunner Society. Honestly, I could see that. Instead of telling us, our ancient enemies from millions of years ago has come back to destroy us, or they're just angry pets. It's like just a rabid dog. It's fine. We've got this. Ignore the news of billions of worlds getting destroyed. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Maybe not billions of worlds, but still.
Wow,
Yeah, there's a lot of lore in Halo. I don't know it all. But I'll look into it before next time, and then I'll actually be able to give accurate answers. This is all just from memory from, I think, 5 or 6 years ago or something.
Dang.
Cool. So, with all that, thank you all so much for watching. It's been fun. And this is Common Tenacity signing out.
Signing out.
Bye, everybody.